Hi everybody, welcome to Archimarathon. Today we're at the Hillside School.
By Frank Lloyd Wright in Taliesin, Spring Green, Wisconsin.
You've already seen that episode where we were lucky enough to be at his incredible home, which is just about a kilometre that way. Incredible laboratory of living. This is the Hillside School, a place that originally was for...
The Fellowship.
Well, it became the Fellowship, didn't it? It was originally his aunties had a school here.
Yeah.
They shut it down and he took it over and turned it into the most elaborate art, beautiful...
Architecture.
Yeah.
Yeah, that old chestnut.
I've heard of that before, architecture.
Architecture.
Yeah.
All right, roll intro.
What? Ow. Was that a roll or was that a salt? I'm kind of nervous, Kev.
Why?
Two spaces, the theatre and the studio, two spaces that I've wanted to see for 20 years, and I'm about to see them. And you know what it's like travelling and getting disappointed. I can't be. It's going to be great, isn't it? 1902 and 1903 was the school that Frank Lloyd Wright's aunties put together, a little boarding school. In 1932, he took the property off his auntie's hands and he turned it into fellowship of architectural apprenticeships. And the first people that studied here actually built the 1932 extension, the drawing room at the back, and on the side there are their bedrooms.
So the fellowship was about learning by practicing.
Yep.
And they're apprentices, they're not students. So it's a bit of an independent school of architecture, really. They lived here, they worked the land. It's a bit like an Archimarathon studio.
Yeah, except we don't make you build the building in the first year. You don't have a building, you've got to build it. And then they also did farming and things like that as well. So, guys, we've never been inside this building, so we're discovering it with you for the first time. And we're going to go, do we go up or down?
Let's go up.
Up. So more of the same language, but think about this building. You've already seen our episode right there about Taliesin, the Frank Lloyd Wright's own house. That started in 1911 right through to his death in 1959. These two buildings, 1902, 1903. So this is before, way before his house. Well, a decade before. But similar languages, similar materials used.
Well, you can really see the old barn feel.
So we arrived onto essentially the bridge. This is amazing. There's a vibe here of the school we saw in Tokyo.
Oh, yes.
Don't you reckon? Do you know what year that was?
Around the time when he was doing Imperial Hotel, I think.
Of course. As you know, he liked sort of deconstructing the box and opening up corners. Isn't it interesting how the masonry part of the building is rectilinear, and then from that orientation, he's then put this post through that have put out these outriggers here to then twist 45 degrees, this void space that goes through.
There's something reminiscent of his studio in Chicago.
Yeah, right. And so he's created this space that's 45 degrees to the rest of the geometry, and our understanding is that that was the library up there, and the idea was that the younger children, before it was the apprenticeship and the fellowship, that the younger children would want to find their way up there. So let's put all of the knowledge up there, all of the books.
How do you get up there?
I don't know. We get to find out. Yellow, I wonder if this is always yellow, but this is very similar to in his own house, the built-in yellow seats with the windows directly behind looking out into the landscape.
But it's a double height, oh my God.
Isn't that amazing? And
Back then, you can imagine the amount of window there is.
And 1901, that's serious glass technology to have that size of glass. And that's the street out there as well. So like that, you present kind of this big area of glass and openness to the street. Yeah, and the really open corners.
There's some photos here.
Where about? Oh, I didn't bring my glasses, I'm old.
Yeah, okay, boomer.
You can actually see the original school that the aunts put together, which Frank Lloyd Wright drew, he designed, and then he demolished and then reclaimed all those materials and used them elsewhere on the estate. Which again, similar in our other episode about his own home, that frugal nature of reclaiming and reusing materials. Uplighting here too, just really simple little timber boxes just with the uplighting. Wow. The brick in the fireplace has done the same 45 shift off the main building, and then that 45 cuts in, so it deflects the heat outwards, and then they've used this limestone sort of wedge through there to pick up the lintel, because I guess they couldn't get a bit of stone line enough.
This is the only bit that has this little triangle.
I wonder why.
Lights in there.
Is it to screen the lighting?
Is it for heat, to deflection? Because otherwise all the heat is going to rush straight up here, and hopefully it pushes it out to the room a bit more.
Yeah. Oh, hi guys. I didn't know you were there. So we came in the front, decided to go up the stairs. We turned to the left and came into this amazing space. If we had have gone to the right, then you end up with this space that looks out into the landscape, but then down into the dining room.
Dining room?
Which, it's different to the Japanese school, but it really reminds me of it. How good are those lights?
The Japanese tile just above your head.
Oh, ridge tile. Wow. Was it against the rules to sit on here? Oh, the flooring there too is at 45 degrees. So there's this constant sort of... He was deconstructivist before deconstruction existed. Like, it feels like all the stuff Eisenman was doing of the deconstructed box, he was already trying to do. The shifting boxes, the dissolved corners.
Look at the post there below. It almost feels like a much older school barn kind of type construction. Yeah,
there's kind of a Tudor feel to it all. Maybe it's the raw, very black timber. Before we head down to the studio down the end...
We should try and find a way to go upstairs.
Yeah, here we go. It's interesting that it's a membrane bituminous, I think they call it here, roof. It's just a membrane roof. A big skylight on that as well. So that's the 1903, this is the 1982, and then the architecture studio goes on. The floor's shifted again, the 45 degrees. Which then lines, of course, lines up with the void. More uplighting too. It's just crazy the age we live in where everybody just fills ceilings full of hard light coming down. You don't see any of that here.
It's a weird little library there.
at 45 degrees. Yeah, serious glazing for 1901. Back to where we came in the entry point. It's great how there's sort of this planter bed here. No longer used, but there would have been great little sort of plants growing out there.
So this is the bridge?
The bridge, linking the 02 and the 03. And this...
That was a competition in 1912, a tower that he designed. Never happened. Beautiful model though, look at it.
That's great.
In San Francisco.
1912, so he'd already moved into Taliesin the year before. That's pretty cool. Love to see that in San Francisco. Oh, and then the skylight going through and all the structures on display.
Oh, wow.
So that part there, 1932, and that's sort of the architecture school, this, I assume, was already here. But you can see all the structures on display, so that would really help in terms of the way that people were taught architecture, was to not only draw buildings, but to build buildings, and to see that structure really helps with your learning. O3, 2 little rooms going down with, again, the open corners, and then this incredible space. I'm not let down. This is amazing.
So all those skylights are pointing to the north, so it's always a diffused light in here.
Yeah, so the sun is doing that. So yeah, you're always getting a soft light. It's like a dark kind of beautiful, you know, they're like trees, aren't they?
Well, this is the abstracted forest. That's what he calls it. So
Uncle Frank
amazing,
did.
Yeah,
Amazing.
Amazing dapple light.
Big spans too, like just out of timber. That's, again, it's structure on display as an education tool, while also, of course, making this really flexible space for all of the drawing boards. So you've got a truss above, which is a pretty sort of standard truss, but then it comes down to this V shape that lands on these block elements and a little iron foot.
With the little red detail there.
The little red details like the frames of his house. And then that's all steel or iron there, and then it's a timber frame going up that then holds that continuous truss through, and then just some little outriggers. It's a beautiful structure.
And then the little red pieces up there as well.
This is great. This is really great.
Big fireplace.
As always. And the built-in furniture on this side as well.
There's always somewhere to sit near the fire.
This is incredible. And everything's just a little bit skewed off, like even the fireplace is sort of skewed.
Bowl-shaped thing, that's...
the cauldron?
The cauldron, yeah. That's a bit falling water.
Oh, really?
The big bowl, yeah. And over there, these triangular seats and hexagons, that's Hannah House, when it did the hexagonal plan.
Ah, and then you've got the hexagons, the rotating squares coming off each other as well. This is really nice. Even the end grain of the timber is red as well.
Oh yeah, it's very Japanese, isn't it?
Yeah.
Painting the end grains.
Which is typically a method to protect the end grain. I'm just walking, Kev, because I'm exploring this for the first time. So there's connection out each side of the fireplace. There's a bunch of chairs out there. So that must be like this great sort of informal place. They probably went out there for smoko. I like these tables that are in the side here. I wonder if there was a hierarchy, like whether, I don't know, teachers perhaps, were sitting on this side.
Yeah.
And then there were the tables going across.
And they get different light, kind of.
Yeah.
Which are the side windows, which is really east and west facing. Only late in the day or early in the morning gets shafts of light coming in.
Look at these bits of structure. And then, is it decoration? I reckon it's actually structural, but it looks decorative. That thickens up the structure. It's almost like laminating timber through. So where you have less force, it's thinner, and then it gets thicker and thicker and stabilises that truss. Then you've got these that actually brace between the trusses as well. It is a beautiful structure. And I understand that at the side here are the bedrooms. So when you're a student, you're in here learning, or you're out making things or tending to the farm.
It's apprentice, by the way.
Stop calling it students. They were very proud, weren't they, of their title apprentice.
Master and apprentice.
They weren't Sith Lords. But imagine that, you're drawing there hour on hour, and then right next door you sleep. Red detailing the door. And that skillion roof, and then this platform. You could imagine, I'm assuming, luggage and things like that would go up there, or maybe even plants. Oh! Enough for a little bed and a seat.
Oh, look at the little light up there.
Huh.
You see the light?
Well, not this one.
Always deconstructing the box.
Oh, the skylight. And look at this, instead of a light switch there, I love that.
Oh, turn that on.
Does it?
Look at that light.
Oh, diffused light. Again, there's no lights in the ceiling. Stop putting your lights in the ceilings, people. That's brilliant. Diffused light coming through there. And I'm stealing this idea. Thanks, Uncle Frank. I love that. Look at these little lighting features. So they're just mirrored, just sets of mirrored accommodation. Shared light coming through the bedrooms into the corridors. They are on a hinge, so they actually open up, so you can then get through breezes coming through the bedrooms. So really passive sort of design. And then out to the field or into, the bathroom. Another cute little skylight.
Turn on lights.
Oh, light switches. I love this detail. Oh, and the fan. And yeah, so light there, and then the up lights through there. So this school, this was still an architecture school until the start of COVID.
Until COVID?
Until COVID.
Wow.
Yeah, so that would be ace, wouldn't it, coming and studying here? Like that window, these mirrors, because they're framed, it feels like that's open, and you get natural light from there and natural light from there, so there's this real illusion there.
And again, little skylight over there.
Yep. More of those little hatches that he has that fold open as well.
Oh yeah, for ventilation.
The red is brilliant. Really, you could imagine in winter, freezing cold, and you're trying to warm up and have a shower, and you're getting out after a warm shower, and just that it feels warm, don't you reckon?
Yeah.
There's just a really neat little curve on that, and then just this depth back to the door.
Yeah, so that there's a reveal to both doors.
Yeah. Well, you can see how small all of this is. It's just those little moves to give it a little bit of relief before you come in, instead of it being a really strict corridor.
And then a light then in between.
In between.
Rooms.
And,
there's the light above you.
Oh, this one. Yeah. Oh, which is directly on the line of that bedroom.
Yeah.
And you could probably, maybe that was signage or something there.
Oh, yeah.
Potentially. I also like that their window, it is very deliberate. You can tell by the splashes of light down the corridor. Their window is deliberately on that doorway. I wonder if they were told to leave their windows open to get those lines of light going down the corridor. Because it's quite striking, isn't it?
Lines of light down the corridor.
All this is original. So look at these amazing, pretty simple plan draws there, but look at this. This is so well considered. Laying on the stone and coming through, and then these places where you can slide drawings or put them away in that drawer. Oh, that actually flips downwards. And then look at all the blade cuts. So people have been making models and things here. God, there's some history there. And all of this is original as well. So the most, imagine just making your own drawing board. And how mean are the stools? How sore would your back be? Look, there's a place here probably for, pencils and things like that.
It's got an angle at least on the seats.
Yeah. It makes you want to sit up. I love the way that the timber really anchors at the back of the building as well, sort of bracing the roof coming that way.
And all the skylights point to the north, except for those two.
Oh, so yeah, right. So you're getting this soft light, and then at this point you're actually getting a direct light that gives you this real hot spot, which is a beautiful sort of axial move, isn't it?
Yep.
So during the day, on a warm day, you're not going to light that up, so you've got this warm spot that you're drawn to. And in winter, imagine what it's like coming in here and seeing that roaring. Every bit of the building it's just a lesson. Imagine sitting here eating and just staring and going and thinking about the glazing suite is operable, is where the timber frame is, but then outside of that, you've got this frameless bit of glass.
So there's that whole saying of, the frame is an event, and then these are things that's sitting within it, so you leave a gap. Often we say, it's the joy of architecture is how things don't touch.
Yeah, that's good. And so instead of the window filling the hole, it's kind of like it's a separate element. But then even like these beautiful, beautiful lights, which I'm going to take one home with me, don't tell anybody. But then you've got these other lights that are just quite, they almost look like a book being held open.
Oh, yes.
And they've got lamps in there, that, again, uplight. Again, no lights, no downlights in the ceiling. So, and even the way these are built, it's a beautiful sculpture, but the tectonics, how it's made, is on display. So you're eating your food and you're learning, you can't help but learn. And through here, this screen, which opens and closes, you get this connection with the incredible theatre.
Oh, that's the back of the curtain.
That's the back of the curtain. And the same thing's happened here to the other windows, where you brought the frame down and then it's frameless up into there.
Nice.
Whoa. And then that's where we were before. So looking back, not only back to the library space, but through that void, you can see trees in the background. So borrowed landscape.
Oh, yeah. Frameless glass. Look at that corner.
Just slotting straight in.
And over there as well.
And you can tie up your horse. Yeah, all of it. That's happening there as well. I can see hinges here too, so maybe those pop open to get ventilation out of it.
That makes sense.
But isn't this lovely? Like, this seems like something you'd see nowadays, just that screen. And we can actually see the seating in there now. So the connection back out into the landscape to the theatre is right there. You can also see that this grid repeats itself and becomes that mezzanine space above as well. Oh, Kev lining things up. Look, the purlins in the same line as this gridded facade. So this is I think it's the entry, we'll find out. See this tree here?
Oh, yeah. Well, what? It eats into the tree.
So when they finished the building, that was a smaller tree. It grew bigger, strange, I know. But
Oh, they cut around the tree.
yeah, so instead of cutting the tree, they cut the building. That's some good hierarchy.
Oh, that's a low space. Don't hit your head.
Oh my God, that's low. Is that a light there? There is. So there's lighting up that corner as well.
Oh, yeah, lights up the tree. Lights up the texture.
Careful of the mushrooms, they're structural. They're holding it up. So, geez, this is low. Or as I like to call it, uncomfortable.
I don't mind it.
Little light spot there. Oh, that's hinged as well. Ooh, that's a heavy door. It's trying to cut me in half. Why is that there?
It's a well?
Oh, maybe. Yes, really low, and then boink, pops up, and then, oh, that's a shelf with all the lighting on top of it. How many times do I have to say it? No lighting in the ceiling, up lighting. Look at that beautiful warmth.
Did you notice the exit light?
Yeah, they're unavoidable. This is similar.
It's got red, it can't be green.
This is similar to his house as well, where you get that beautiful timber detail in the corner. I love the way he traces the line of the roof, the hip of the roof. The triangular seats that you pointed out in his studio.
From the Hannah house, yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, this is so good. So this
Look at the battens up above.
Oh, and it looks like air intake up there.
They're different colours.
Oh yeah. That's a great red, isn't it? That ochre red. So low. Look at the mirror. Oh my,
that's a mirror?
Yeah, it just makes it look like it goes through, and it makes the stairs look twice as wide.
Yeah.
What a great visual effect. Oh, and the connection back to the garden as well. And that skeleton, it's almost like a rib cage. And then there's an oversized version of the hanging light that was in the dining room. Whoa! And another one there too. So much more elaborate and beautiful. This is awesome.
And that graphic, it's in the gift shop, which I've seen, but it's an abstracted landscape of the area.
Right. It is gorgeous. Really interesting too that the way that they have set up that mezzanine, it's almost like he was thinking about the increasing onset of technology, because it leaves this services space so they could chuck in lights and projectors and things like that.
It's very tectonic, it's very framed. And even those bits there, just wrapping up and over.
Yeah. all these seats are built in, so there's like this mixture of concrete and, no, it is, it's all just concrete, and they're fixed in, but then they've got loose versions of the same seat up there, so they can add extra seating on top of the pavement.
It's not just concrete, it's concrete with stone.
Is that a stone?
Yeah, I think so. Was it? No, it's something.
Marmoleum or something like that.
Oh.
What, is this meant to be here?
Oh, jeez.
And
Okay.
you've got the grid on this side as well.
I'm trying to negotiate this without falling over. Okay.
Yeah, so grid on that side, which lines up with the rib cage of the frame's roof, and then that comes all the way over, and then you get a little bit of it here that orientates back to the road.
And the frame disappears. Look at the bottom.
Into the concrete.
Yeah.
And this part here is actually cantilevered. So over there, that gridded frame goes all the way to the ground, but when you're out on the street, this part actually projects out.
Ah.
Oh, look.
The ventilation corner.
I don't know how to open it, and I don't want to push it too hard.
Pull.
Pull? There's no handle.
Look behind you. That glass.
The glass has been cut around this bit, but then the stone's been cut in there, and it looks like the stone won. You just can't do that anymore, unfortunately. Oh.
The apprentices used to practice their music, so the theatre was used pretty much like a theatre. They were encouraged to explore other arts, because architecture is the mother of all arts.
So Taliesin, Welsh for shining brow, but didn't it also have another name?
It's some poet, some bard.
Bard of the arts. Right now there will be text flashing across your screen with the accurate description of what Taliesin means. How about this? You don't want to come to the theatre drunk though, do you?
Whoa.
So this has been remodelled a couple of times. So probably in the 50s was the last iteration of this. But Kev, I would like to think that this shift of 45 degrees that happens in here is somehow harking back to the 1901 original school building. You know how it shifts from the external stone square?
Oh yeah, yeah.
To the timber. It just feels better than coming in on an axis and just being like, there's the stage straight ahead of you. Everybody just stack up. There's something about it that feels so much more generous.
And the way that the steps down here and that is flat, almost as if they kind of overlap each other as well.
Yeah, and it's such a good size. Like 100 people, it feels like less than 100 people, but it's so intimate, the feeling in here.
This beautiful light, they'll come from the side, should you choose to.
Oh, and you could use that, that's just outside, so you could use that as back of house rolling props and things like that in here. What's through here? Oh, it's actually a bigger space. Yeah, it's a good size space. And so that's where we were before, the dining room and those shutters that open up. On this side, you end up with some mirrors. Huh. Oh, the crowd's calling for us. Hello. We're here. We need a camera that faces you for just all the times you're just going. So we've just done our performance, and everybody's very excited. Everybody came in that way, sat down, performance, come out, spill out here where there's drinks and things like that, and then you can go out onto this lawn. The low ceiling or eave.
It's really an outdoor room.
Yeah. It's elevated from the street. You always arrive around through the buildings.
Oh, that's that cantilever bit you're talking about.
That's the cantilevered bit. Look at this low little roof and then this strange, beautiful element here. And of course the dominant chimney coming through. It was interesting talking to one of the local architects last night, and they were saying how it's actually quite problematic now, the mythology of Frank Lloyd Wright, and how being in Wisconsin, especially in Madison, that it's hard to be able to talk about architecture beyond Frank Lloyd Wright, because it's just what people expect and know. which, you know, it's a good problem to have, isn't it?
But also, he said that some of the problem is that, you know, if you ask people what they think of Frank Lloyd Wright, and they just go, his roof leaks.
Yeah. I think
There's no conversation about architecture beyond that, almost. It's not really become an architecture talk about, because it's just kind of, this is not, but it is quite extravagant, isn't it? For rural community,
yeah,
this is like, what the?
yeah.
And he's well known to have designed, you know, pretty extravagant places, extravagant clients.
Well, we saw Hollyhock in LA the other day, didn't we?
Yeah.
You know, far out. Spent some money there. But yeah, like that's a really interesting point. They're talking about the fires, the murders, the leaking roof. You know, there's this mythology around the guy. Instead of talking about the quality of space, the quality of light, like,
It's lessons you can learn from it. Not necessarily replicating it, but there's a lot of lessons, which is what this channel is about.
what? Is that what this is about?
Oh, okay.
For years I've been like, what the hell are we doing? Instead of hearing our random comments, you can come and hear the full story of Hillside, of Taliesin, and see for yourself this exquisite work that does need to be seen. I've learned so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, with all sincerity, to Taliesin Preservation. They've housed us for 2 nights in Frank's, I'm calling Frank now because we're friends, in Frank's house, Frank Lloyd Wright's house. What a privilege. We're very thankful to have that opportunity, because they don't make those beds available for many people. And thank you again to the American Institute of Architects for flying us over here. We've got, we're having a great time. We're giving a couple of lectures.
Yep.
And hopefully we'll see you there. If not, you can probably see it online, because everything is recorded nowadays.
Yeah.
We love you guys. Bye. He was about to roll me uphill, apparently.